Are you going through any process to get rid of this tenant?
Right. I am. So here's another side of it that is really it just shows how broken like our country is right now. And this is stuff that I never knew about. I know a lot of people don't know about this. When you're a normal person like me, yes, I'm high income, but we got to understand this class war stuff. You've got the 99% of which I'm part of, and you've got the 1%, right? The 1% is so far and above, like it's not even remotely close to the rest of us, that even if you're making like $300,000 a year, like you're poor, right? Compared to a half a billionaire, like a 500 billion guy, and you're like 300,000. I mean, sorry, 200,000 a year. Like after taxes, like what was that? 200,000, 150. You know what I mean? That's nothing, right? And the thing about it is, the 99%, we have to work for a living, right? I don't have a rich dad. Like I'm at risk of homelessness as well, right? That's what's looming. Because if I foreclose, I put all my money in this house, right? That's the thing. For a normal person, even as a high income person, I don't have the funds to buy a 4-family house without squeezing myself to the limits. I had to use a special low down payment program, which means I have to pay a very high mortgage insurance, which is I think it's like $1,200 a month or something ridiculous just for the insurance because it's this low down payment thing. It's really hard to get a property that qualifies for it. So you know, it's even you basically hire an attorney to do paperwork, right? You'll pay $500, $800, maybe $1,000, and that's what you get for that paperwork. They file your stuff in court. They will show up in court for you, but there is no like tactics and like let's look at the previous legal like that stuff you see on Hollywood, like where they're like looking at previous cases and here's an angle. We're gonna use this angle, and there's a loophole. There's none of that, man. They're just filing the paperwork, and then they can have like 20 clients because they're not really doing any work. Really, it's just like filling out paperwork, submitting it, showing it up for the court date, right? So basically, for normal people, even someone call me upper middle class, um, it's hard to find good legal representation because a lot of the guys that are more affordable, they're very dishonest. So long story short, it took me 3 months just to find an attorney who even knew the basics of the very law that we're trying to challenge. Now think about how disgusting that is. Now they come up with a new law. It's been a year in place, right? The restrictions on evictions, blah blah blah, right? After a year, I knew more about the law and the exceptions and ways to challenge it than all the attorneys I saw in the first 3 months. Now think about it for a second. What have they been doing for the last year? Because other landlords have been trying to do evictions that have been paying these guys money to do evictions. If in a year they don't know, like there's only 2 or 3 exceptions to the law. One of them applies to me. If you want to live in the property, if it's 4 units or less, right? 4 units or less, and the owner wants to live on the property, there is an exception that allows you to evict, right? That's the one good thing that they did, which is so like that's the right thing to do. You're saying this is a person, it's your property, you purchased the property, and you want to live in there. And for us, the court, to stop someone from being able to live in their own home, that is too far. So what they do is, if you're like an investor, right, who you have a home and you purchase another one as an investment, then they're like, we're going to take care of the tenant, right? But they say if you want to live there, that's an exception. So that's one of the only 2 exceptions, right? And it's not complicated. It's pretty simple. 4 units or less, and the owner wants to occupy immediately or something like that, right? 3 months. Every attorney I spoke to wasn't aware of this. I would speak to the attorneys and they would tell me stuff that was incorrect because I was reading. I had to become my own attorney. I'm sitting here. Listen, I signed up for a legal services thing, and that's another thing that's messed up. They limited minimum contract was 2 years, so I had to sign up for 2 years just to get access to these court cases. It's a legal service, $100 a month. They required me to sign a 2-year contract, right? And why am I even doing this, right? In a normal world, I should be able to just hire an attorney and have them do their jobs. But no, I have to fend for myself. So I had to sign up for this program, and I'm like an attorney. I read through so many cases, and I had like a spreadsheet of like previous cases and like quotes from what the judges were saying and all these different things. And I'm like being like a legal aid or whatever. So I had a lot of familiarity with the laws and stuff. So I would talk to an attorney, big shot attorney, charging a lot of money, and have them tell me stuff that's incorrect. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can't. I said, you can't do that. The law specifically states that blah, 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 blah. How am I telling an attorney the law? Like, I don't have any legal experience. I don't have an aptitude necessarily for that. I don't have any background in it. All I did is I have comprehension skills. I can read, right? And I have the, what's the word? The motivation, because I'm in a crisis. I need to figure things out. So I'm like, all right, the attorneys are not trustworthy. I'm going to go and read stuff and learn. I'm going to see how much I can help myself and go as far as I can, so that when I go to the attorney, I'm not such like an idiot that they can take advantage of, right? So 3 months to find one attorney that at least knew the law. The bar was so low at that point that I was so excited that he just knew the law. He hasn't done anything impressive, right? He seems like a cool guy. And I noticed, that's one thing I noticed, like, don't get caught up in personality. It's nice that the attorney is like friendly and stuff and, you know, conversational. That's irrelevant. You want to know about his ethics, right? His work ethic. You want to know about his case history, how good he argues cases in court and that kind of thing. But he seemed friendly and he knew the law. And compared to all the other attorneys who didn't even know the law, the basics of the law, I was like, man, this is amazing, right? I'm about to dump this guy because he's not doing anything. It's like I said, what you get as the 99%, what you can afford to get is the paperwork.